Welcome back, guys. Was going to go over exploiting players because I don't see it on videos enough. So I wrote a lot of information down. I got my poker coaching hat on. You know what I'm saying? But locked in. But this is for like low stakes. I get everyone's like GTO, and it is good to know GTO because you need to know ranges and stuff like that. But low stakes, you just play really good fundamental poker and you look for mistakes, you will do really well. And this is exploiting tight, aggressive players. What is their trait? What is the tag's trait? Bet folding. That is their that's their thing. You know what I mean? Bet folding is the tag. I wrote it down actually because I'm a smart guy, right? Bet folding is the tag's bread and butter play. These players are aggressive. They are. They're tight, but when they enter a pot, they're betting. They have a hand. They're aggressive. Even if they miss the flop, they can see bet. Everyone say bets. They bet frequently. If you replace the bet folds with bet calls, you become a loose player. Now, if you replace the bet folds with check folds, you become a nit. Just want to throw that out there so you can read that again. Bet folding is a great tool against loose, non-aggressive opponents. So not aggressive, like, you know what I mean? Passive. Oh, loose players love to call bets with weak hands. They also tend to raise only with strong hands. Very true in the low stakes. Lost my drink, guys. Um, if the player has weak hands and tends to call with them, then you value bet thinly and relentlessly. Okay? Again, if the player has weak hands and tends to call with them, crappy marginal hands, then you can value bet like second pair, like, you know what I mean? Like on whatever, ace 10 8, and whatever, say you have a 10, he keeps calling, maybe, you can value bet that 10 at the end. Now, if the player has weak hands and tends to fold them, you get to bluff a lot. So, the yin and the yang. If you basically, both things are opposite if you read it. So here's some exploits to exploit the tag, okay? You can double barrel bluff more because they will fold top pair plus or draws. They really will fold top pair. They don't really want to get their money in unless they have like the nuts. So just throwing that out there. I mean, I play low stakes, so this is why I wrote all this stuff for you guys. If they call the turn bet, you may be able to leverage a scare card on river to complete the bluff. So maybe a straight card comes in and it hits your range well, you might be able to get the guy off the hand. So don't always be aware, and always, you know what I mean? Like always be aware of like what their ranges are and stuff like that. Big bets from a tag usually indicates a big hand. And it's true. So you got to learn to fold some hands, get rid of, like big bets. Yeah, from a tag usually indicates something big. Even if you're holding over pair, be wary of sets and all that stuff because they do have. Alarm bells should be going off in your head and stuff like that happens. Fold most hands to unusually large bets. Yeah, I mean, if a guy's betting pot and you have like, I don't know, Jack 10, but it's hard, on top pair with a 10. It's dicey, so you learn to fold. And I even wrote the bottom line for you guys. Open up your pre-flop game. Raise limpers with a wide range of suited hands in position. That's the real key here, is playing good hands in position. Then barrel the flop and barrel again on many good turns. Like high cards, if a king and ace and you're the pre-flop razor from early position, and you don't have a king, but that's a good card for your range. So learn to barrel on good turns and consider overbet bluffs on the river, because overbets really, I do it all the time, and I get paid off once in a while, but most of the time I get a bunch of folds because people just don't know what to do. And usually it means like you're very polarized, because like either you have the nuts or you do not have the nuts. Low stakes players betray a lot of information in their bet sizes. They really do. I see a lot of like players open, they'll limp and then they'll raise 4.5 and they'll show aces, or like they did something good or something. And I'm like, you just wasted like it's wild. You know what I mean? So yeah, they do portray a lot of information in their bet sizes, and big bets in an absolute sense are unlikely to be bluffs. Most likely to be a big hand. All right. I thought I had some more info for you, but that is basically how you exploit a tag. Honestly, my brain is fried, dude. Oh yeah, and like three betting, guys. Three betting. I was gonna show you. Like this is what I see in the low stakes is basically 4 to 5% three bet. Um, my three bet's about 7.5%. And if you want that, you gotta add some bluffs. Like these are all really strong hands, and I get it. And I would give you a tip here. In the beginning of a tournament, you should kind of play very linear. Like you're only gonna three bet good hands, and you're gonna be like, well, why? We have more. You actually want to be more aggressive later in the tournament and add some bluffs. And in the beginning, it's not really worth taking so much risks. It's better just to play small pots and try to build your stack that way. I mean, everybody's different, but it works for me that way. So like you would add, like me personally, Ace Jack's a great hand to throw in there. King Queen suited is a great hand to call and three bet, but I'd throw Ace Jack in there. You got your suited aces. You could throw those in there. And then maybe just to splash around like a couple other bluffs, and now your three bet is at 7.4, which is a lot better, and this just goes by position and everything like that. But that's what I would do. Again, you want to three bet linear in the beginning of the tournament, and like I said, play small ball, unless you have like kings races and you want to get it in, I get it. But other than that, you shouldn't. Then later on in the tournament is when you want to get a little more aggressive, because the antes really do matter, So, and then you should always just be, going through your um, pre-flop, like what you open, and all depends on what you want to open. Yeah, I think that's I probably open I'm a little loose, you know what I mean? So I'd open all these. You got to get rid of like the king jack, the queen jack, the ace 10. They're just not profitable, and I get it. But just don't stop playing those hands. You know, like the button, it's crazy. You get to open like everything. Or let's do cutoff. What's the cutoff? Offsuit nines, suited sixes. So cutoff would be all that. Offsuit sixes, you'd open all this. Um, Hold on, man. What did I say? I can't remember. Offsuit nines. Offsuit nines. Offsuit nines, suited sixes. So it's like cut off, man. You can kind of be aggressive. I'm trying to like go by memory here. Yeah, something like that. I could probably open it up and look, but that's probably the cutoff, you know. And you should just know these ranges, you know. And then like if I was gonna add like um the buttons range, it would just add the offsuit eights and suited fives. Um, you basically play a lot of the stuff. I don't know, Jack, maybe Jack Deuce. I think 10-4, or 6-5, 5-3, 4-3. Um, you probably open. Yeah, maybe that's a little high. 50%. You could probably get rid of like, I don't know, if you don't, you know what I mean. Some of these, it's all dependent. But and if you get a few wrong, it's okay. But you need to know like the bulk, you know what I mean? And even calling ranges, you guys like if they're good players, like I'm just gonna give you a quick calling range here. Guys, subscribe, man. I'm trying to help people. Like I want to help, and I have so much knowledge to give. But like a good calling range, if somebody calls your bet, like I'll even give them all this. No, you got to get rid of a lot of these because they're not gonna have that. They shouldn't. You know what I mean? They're probably three betting all this stuff. Um, but I always think like suited nines and like basically all this stuff, like they shouldn't be cold calling with like queen jack offsuit or king jack offsuit. Really, they don't perform well. So like all this stuff would probably just go away. Again, a lot of players do call the king queen ace jack. It's not horrible or anything, but I'm just giving you like a rough calling range. And yeah, this stuff would go away, and you would probably look at stuff like a decent player, or if someone just cold calls you and you're like, oh man, like it's really all this stuff. And maybe you can add some suited connectors if they want to play, but a lot of suited aces. And depending on position, like these hands make straights and they're strong. Suited eights, suited nines, suited tens, suited jacks, all are very good calling hands. You need a very good hand to call. You actually need a better hand to call than to raise if you do. All right, I'm giving you guys like a shit ton of information here. I hope you guys do subscribe. I want to just give as much information as I can. It's good to give back. And like I said, I see a lot of channels and they do a lot of GTO. And I did Jonathan Little's poker coaching for like a year. Premium, did all his courses, did Upswing Poker Lab, did Raise Your Edge, got coached by, I'm not going to name who it was, but by a poker coach. So yeah, I actually wrote an article for Sky Smart Study Poker on Sit and Goes if you want to check that out. And yeah, I'm just going to continue grinding. And, it's a grind. Poker's a grind. And like I said, we should all support each other. So hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video, boys and girls.